It's Friday, March 18, 2022. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson. In the headlines, Disaster Risk Management Act restrictions lifted. $50 million for a training facility. JDF to establish a base in Wareika Hill. Regionally, Antiguan government commissions review on gas prices. And in sports, West Indies in for a battle as England post 507 declared.
Madam Speaker, after 2 years of dexterously balancing lives and livelihood with executive powers under the DRMA, the orders have been gazetted. Effective tomorrow, March 18th, 2022, the order and all the measures therein under the Disaster Risk Management Act will be withdrawn.
That was the major announcement from Prime Minister Andrew Holness yesterday in Parliament as he made his contribution to the budget debate. Mr. Holness noted that the country continues to show signs of recovery. He noted changes have to be made.
While we acknowledge that the pandemic is not over, it must be mainstreamed into the general normal management of public health, safety, and public order. It is no longer sustainable to manage the pandemic as a special project by executive order through the Disaster Risk Management Act. However, risks still remain, and continued vigilance is necessary, especially for vulnerable populations.
The government on March 13, 2020 invoked provisions under the DRMA ranging from curfews to lockdowns and social distancing measures as the principal regulatory tool for managing the health crisis. The Prime Minister outlined the measures that will remain.
These are: 1, the requirement for persons who test positive to isolate, the requirement for laboratories to protect the privacy and identity of persons testing for COVID-19, hand washing and sanitizing measures, and 4, mask wearing in enclosed spaces to which the public has access, for example, supermarkets, banks, collectorate of taxes, will be retained until April 15, 2022. However, mask wearing will not be mandated, but will be recommended in establishments that serve food, liquor, or other drink for consumption within the premises.
Meanwhile, the entertainment sector also received some good news. The prohibition on entertainment events has also been lifted. However, Prime Minister Andrew Holness reminded the public that events are regulated under various laws and administered by different entities, including municipal corporations and the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Permits must be sought and licenses paid. The permits granted will include a condition that the number of persons in any venue must be below 70% of the capacity. This condition will be kept until the 15th of April, 2022.
He also spoke to a fund that will help reopen the entertainment sector.
I have directed the Chase Fund to create a special $150 million Jamaican dollars window of support for the entertainment sector. This will be used to help musicians, entertainers, theatre production companies, and promoters of festivals and events. More details, including criteria for access, will be made available shortly.
The Prime Minister also announced a loan fund that will be available to the entertainment and creative sectors, which he noted lacks access to credit.
The Development Bank of Jamaica will establish a special entertainment restart loan facility totaling 500 million Jamaican dollars. Under this facility, 250 million will be reserved for micro-enterprises, including vendors supporting the entertainment industry. Micro-enterprises will be able to access loans of up to 750,000 from the DBJ accredited microfinance institutions for working capital, equipment, and refinancing. An additional 250 will be reserved for small and medium-sized enterprises who will be able to access loans of up to $5 million through participating DBJ microfinance and approved financial institutions. The DBJ will be working out the details with the microfinance and approved financial institutions with a view to launching the facility in April 2022. Madam Speaker, I wish to restate that this 500 million being allocated for this purpose from the DBJ, it is not a grant. It is a loan on commercial basis. However, it will come with great facilitation.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness noted that Jamaicans do not see their culture as a means of generating wealth and profit. He stressed the Jamaican culture needs to be treated as a business and gave his assurance that this is a priority from him.
I am taking a direct interest in the matter, and along with the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the Honourable Olivia Babsy-Grange, we will carefully study these proposals with the aim of partnering with the music and entertainment sectors towards building our Jamaican music and culture. As I close this section, Madam Speaker, we see the emergence of K-pop. We see the emergence of Afrobeats. And Madam Speaker, Jamaican music, reggae music, dancehall music is the root, the foundation. But what do they have over us, Madam Speaker? They take a strategic business approach to developing the product. They see it for what it is. It is culture, it is art, it's creativity, but it is also an intellectual property that can create wealth and profit and value.
A training facility will be created to produce trained local entertainment talent for the tourism sector. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there is a lack of trained personnel who have the talent but not the skill to afford them a job within the industry.
I'm happy to announce that the Tourism Enhancement Fund has allocated $50 million to develop, design, and start construction of the Tourism Entertainment Academy on the Antigua Bay Convention Center lands.
The Jamaica Defence Force will be expanding its patrol, surveillance and presence in remote and inaccessible regions across Jamaica. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement in Parliament on Thursday. He noted that as part of the strategic plan to increase security due to the growing trend of criminals creating hideouts and camps in very remote and uninhabited areas.
Where feasible, permanent presence will be established, and this will assist not only in detecting criminals and illegal activities, but it will help with conservation of our natural resources in these areas.
He shared that 100 acres of land has been transferred to the JDF to assist in their fight.
On Thursday last, I approved the transfer of over 100 acres of hilltop land from the Windsor Farm property in Wareika Hills to the JDF for the creation of a special operations base. This is a strategic location from which the JDF can take control of the mountain range and conduct a range of operations in support of the JCF and other national security goals. Madam Speaker, this is the first of many such bases to come. We will not cede 1 inch of land for criminals to feel that they have control and are out of reach of law enforcement and the Jamaican state.
Mr. Holness said the JDF will also play a key role in social intervention and community building through training and youth engagement. World Down Syndrome Day has been marked each year on March 21 since 2006. This year, the theme is Inclusion Means. Dr. Charmaine Scott, founder and the chairperson of the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation, explains what Down syndrome is and why the March 21 date was chosen.
Down syndrome is a condition that has been around for many years, over 150 years, when it was first described by a Dr. John Langdon Down. At the time, he noticed certain features that were typical of children with Down syndrome. But it wasn't until approximately 100 years later that the real cause of Down syndrome was identified by another physician. And he noted that there was an extra chromosome, that is, on the 21st pair, instead of having 2 chromosomes, the cells of persons with Down syndrome have an extra chromosome on the 21st pair. It is for this reason that the condition is also called trisomy 21. And it is a play on this that World Down Syndrome Day has been selected as March 21st.
Dr. Scott says the day is used to bring awareness to the condition, educate the public, and advocate for the inclusion of people with Down syndrome into everyday life. She shared some of the activities the foundation will be a part of and the Rock Your Socks campaign.
Down Syndrome International, a part of which we are have been invited to join, actually celebrate World Down Syndrome Day by asking people to wear socks, odd socks, socks that might bring attention to you. And in so doing, corporate Jamaica can in fact have campaigns within their spheres and invite people to wear socks and probably make a donation to the foundation by so doing on that day. We at the foundation we've been invited to the Norman Manley International Airport on that day, and we'll be having a booth where we'll be sharing information about Down syndrome and the foundation, and we will have the ability to actually interact with the staff and also guests at the facility on that day.
Time now for the latest market updates in this extended edition of the Business Report with Danita Rodney.
JFP Limited is now listed on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange as of March 14, 2022. The furniture manufacturer, through an initial public offering IPO and an offer for sale, sought to raise $280 million. However, the offering was oversubscribed with in excess of 5,000 applications and raised $675 million. CEO Metriciaga, in an address to the attendees at the listing ceremony, expressed praise to both employees and investors.
I want to say thank you first to the Father, as without Him, none of this would have been possible. I want to say thanks to the team members at JFP, those that are there today, and all those that have passed through our midst and helped to shape our company and make it what it is today. And a very special thank you to my 2 partners, Richard and Stephen Stegani. Ricky, who is no longer with the company in an executive capacity, spent decades toiling from early, being the first person at work in the morning and the last person to leave at night. And Steve, our COO, the founder, the heartbeat, the dreamer, and the man that makes it all happen. Thank you to Matthew Wareika and the team at MHO, Daniel Terrelong and the team at DT Communications, Ryan Strawn, Doug Robinson, and the very hard-working Christina Millington at GK. We could not have done it without your belief in us and our company. And finally, I want to thank each and every one of you that have bought into and who will buy into our company, JFP. As I sit here before you, I will make this promise that we will work hard, work smart, be innovative, and do the things that will make you proud as an investor in our company. We're taking JFP to the world, and we're happy that you're coming with us.
COO of JFP, Stephen Sergani, also expressed his gratefulness to those who showed their support for the company's hard work and that they expect to do great things.
Well, we're very grateful for it. We have worked very hard. We've been in business for 37 years, and this is a momentum day for us, and we feel honored and privileged to be here.
JFP's goal was not only to raise its profile and give the company a more competitive edge, but to also use the proceeds of the IPO and offer for sale to help expand current operations and tap into new opportunities.
We have big things to look forward to with what's happening in the global economy and Jamaica's location. We expect to do great things throughout the region. We're going to break into North America, South America, and also building throughout the Caribbean.
In foreign exchange trading for Thursday, March 17, the US dollar sold for an average of $153.46. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $121.62. The pound sterling traded for $201.71, and the euro sold for an average of $171.24. The following reflects the movement of the JSE indices in Thursday's trading session. The JSE index declined by 2,641 points to close at over 300,000 units. The junior market index declined by 27 points to close at over 3,000 units. The combined market index declined by 4,466 points to close at over 300,000 units. And the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 1,779 points to close at over 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 102 stocks, of which 37 advanced, 54 declined, and 11 traded firm. Stocks advanced for AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, Berger Paints Jamaica Limited, and Blue Power Group Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference, and 1834 Investments Limited. Trading firm were CAC 2000 9.5 Cumulative Redeemable Preference Shares, Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited, and First Rock Capital Holdings Limited. JFP Limited was the volume leader with over 18 million units, followed by Edufocal Limited with over 9.7 million units, and Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 6 million units. In market data for oil prices rose on Friday at the end of another unstable week of trade after slim progress in peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Brent crude futures rose $1.14 or 1% to $107.78 a barrel, and West Texas Intermediate crude futures climbed $1.24 or 1.2% to $104.22 a barrel. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
Ghanaian medical students who were forced to leave Ukraine because of the tensions there may be able to complete their degrees in Grenada, but the discussions are ongoing between St. George's University and the Ghanaian Scholarship Board. A prematurely circulated news report is being discredited. We have more details in this report.
Ghanaian medical students who were forced to leave Ukraine because of the tensions there may be able to complete degrees in Grenada, but discussions are ongoing between the St. George's University and the Ghanaian Scholarship Board. A news report circulated prematurely and is being discredited. More in this report.
A report which began circulating last week stated that Ghanaians studying medicine in Ukraine, whose education had been truncated due to the disturbances in that country, could now continue their studies in Grenada. The report further stated that the government secured an agreement with the Caribbean island for 200 Ghanaian medical students who had to flee Ukraine to continue and complete their education at St. George's University School of Medicine. However, a later copy of a signed memorandum of understanding between the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat and St. George's University stated otherwise, that discussions are still ongoing between the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat and St. George's University. The latter report said, and I quote, "We have now entered into talks with St. George's University to consider how best to enable these students to continue their studies and ensure they are able to complete their degrees. St. George's University has confirmed it will welcome all qualified students to apply for enrollment into the upcoming intakes and will work with the Scholarship Secretariat in these difficult times to this end." End of quote. According to the MOU, there are many Ghanaian students studying medicine in Ukrainian medical schools, 57 of whom are sponsored by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. The Ghana Scholarship Secretariat and St. George's University said a joint statement will be issued once the scope of cooperation has been finalized.
And in Antigua, the government has announced that petrol prices could be lowered when a review is conducted in the next 30 days. This assurance was given as the recent increase in pump prices continues to be debated and causes concern in some quarters. More details from Jamie J. Roche.
The government increased gasoline and diesel prices Tuesday after Russia's invasion of Ukraine triggered a spike in global oil prices. Information Minister the Honorable Melford Nicholas says the rise in cost of imported petroleum products was too dramatic for the government to continue absorbing without passing on to motorists.
And based on the last receipt, the cost variation was significant enough that would have required the government to subsidize all of its 2.5 million EC dollars in tax revenues, plus some, to be able to keep prices stable.
But the minister says the price could be reduced soon.
It is to be borne in mind that within the next 30 days, that another shipment of fuel will arrive based on the depletion rate of the fuel that we have in storage at the moment. And should those prices be reduced, then of course the government will be obliged to come back and to provide some further reduction in the cost of fuel.
Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
Over now to sporting news. Olympians Brianna Williams and Sherika Jackson advanced to the semi-finals of the women's 60 meters after preliminary round action at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Belgrade, Serbia on Friday. Williams clocked a personal best 7.06 seconds to win the sixth and final heat in the second fastest time. Competing in Heat 5, Jackson finished second in 7.16 behind Great Britain's Daryl Nita, who won in 7.13. And in cricketing news, the West Indies trailed by 436 runs at stumps on day 2 on the second test against England at Kensington Oval. The hosts were 71 for 1 with Shamar Brooks unbeaten on 31 and captain Craig Brathwaite not out on 28. Earlier, England, resuming on 244 for 3, eventually declared their first innings on 507 for 9. All-rounder Ben Stokes slammed 120 inclusive of 11 fours and 1 6, while captain Joe Root carried his overnight 119 to 153 before he was LBW'd to Kemar Roach. The pick of the Windies bowlers was Virasamy Permal with 3 for 126. And still in cricketing news, the West Indies women defeated Bangladesh women by 4 runs in their 5th match of the ICC Women's World Cup at Bay Oval in New Zealand on Friday. Scores: West Indies women 144-9 off 50 overs and Bangladesh women 136 off 49.3 overs. And with that, we call an end to today's newscast. On behalf of our entire news production team, Thanks for watching the news and for making it PBCJ, the People's Station.